But I do love this like beautiful cobalt. Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Look, my shirt has corgis on them, and here's a little corgi butt. Alright, so obviously today I have a review for you all. If any of you guys saw my Will I Buy It, you would have heard me discussing or stating my excitement for the Anastasia Beverly Hills Riviera palette. If you have not seen that Will I Buy It, I will leave that link down below so you can hear me talk positively about some things I want to get and talking negatively about some releases I don't want to get. But today we are going to be talking about this palette right here. It's got some very preppy, you know, nautical, very Tommy Hilfiger, Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren vibes going on. We open this bad boy up and we have a brush that I never use because I don't like the double-ended brushes. And we have got a lovely array of colors going on here. People saw this and they were like, Anastasia, finally, you're bringing the color to the game. And then my gal, Georgia Harris, she threw some fantastic shade on Twitter. And someone was all like, why am I drawn to this palette? And she was all like, well, because indie brands have been doing this, but Trend Mood doesn't post indie brands. I was like, that was woke AF. But nonetheless, here we are talking about this. It is the typical Anastasia price. It is $44 for 14 shades. I'm not obsessed with the matte to shimmer ratio. All of these are matte, and then this white one here is matte, then the rest are shimmers. That's better than it could be, but I'm also kind of more of a fan of the Modern Renaissance layout, which is like all matte except two. But that's just because I am a super crazy matte shadow lover. I honestly have no idea if this is limited edition or not. I know some of y'all get upset with me when I don't know that, but I feel like oftentimes companies can be a little bit non-upfront about whether their stuff is limited edition or not. Morphe! But if I do have a conclusive whatever, I will leave it down below, as well as links to get this. I got mine off of the Anastasia Beverly Hills site as of making this, and I'm pretty sure of posting it. I don't know if it's going to be available yet at Sephora or Ulta. If it is, we'll provide those links as well. But we've had enough of the introductions. Let's just get to swatching this bad boy right here. And I will say though, I'm not like a huge fan of this like nautical preppy whatever thing just because that's not my vibe. I am glad and appreciative that it's not freaking velvet. That's nice. But I do love this beautiful shimmery cobalt inside that is just breathtaking. Bringing you all in closer for the swatchy swatch in real time. We'll start here with sales, and I'm gonna go just boop, 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 because there are only 2 rows. This here is a white, then we have Estate going on here, which is, I guess, kind of a setting shade. It does have a bit more of like a taupey peachy thing going on, kind of blends into my skin tone. Next is Yacht right here, and the shimmers feel so good. So do the mattes, but when you dip your finger into a good feeling shimmer, y'all know what I am talking about. And look at that, this is so pretty. Next up is Coastline, which is what I kind of started mine going on here, and I also did use, I am going to butcher the crap out of this name. It's not gonna focus because my phone is whatever, but Seychelles? I have no idea. Someone tell me how to pronounce that down below. And that's what I've got going on right here. So we've got Coastline, and then whatever, however this one's pronounced. And I will say with this one, compared to this shimmer and other ones in the palette, it did, although it applied really well and is very pigmented, as you can see, it did have a significant amount of like fallout. Like you just take it and you tap your brush and you go to like press it or whatever it on, and there was like beautiful green blue pigment all across that when I went to like brush it away. It just brushed right into my foundation. Next up is Bahamas, which was my final shade here, and on the under eye, underline, lower lash line. I just can't do the speaking today. And Palermo, which is beautiful, beautiful pinky one, which does suffer from the same problem as this one right here, where it just has a little bit of flaky going on. It's pigmented, it's nice, it's smooth, but beware of the fallout. That pink though, that's like colored rain, vivid pigmentation going on. Then we have Monte Carlo, which is what I used on my eyes after Coastline here. So we've got that going on there. And then Seaside, which is like this gray, gold, purple, whatever, which I don't know if you can see, it's got kind of some whatever going on up in there right here. And like, oh my goodness, like this one here, can you see? Can you see? Just a little bit chunky chunk. And these shimmers, they're like, it's so weird because they're like they're super soft and they're super pigmented, but they're almost like they feel very like creamy to the point of like if I were to push my finger in, which I'm not gonna do, it would leave like an imprint. Cushiony, that's the word. They feel very cushiony. And then next up is, I always mispronounce this. I know it's like C-A-N-N-E-S, but I'm pretty sure the S is silent, so it's Cane or cans or cons or I don't know. I am not a fancy person who goes to places out of state. And then Inheritance, which is what I use like right in here, and this, oh my god, it's so beautiful. It's right here like that. I mean, look at that purple. And then we have the gold, which does have that kind of flaky whatever problem going on, but it's so pretty. And last but not least, we've got Palm here, which is just brown. That's all it is, just brown going on right there. And then Mediterranean, which is like blue, goldy, shifty something, is that shade right there. And then this bad boy right here. So the only shade, shimmer shade in the palette that I have noticed that doesn't have the like kind of crumbly fallout workout with is this brown shade here, which is the Yacht. All the other shades are beautiful, don't get me wrong. All the other shimmers, they're beautiful, they look gorgeous on the eyes, but you are gonna have to be just a little bit more careful when applying them if you don't want there to be fallout everywhere. Do your eyeshadow first, or use some sort of base or like a tacky primer to just minimize that fallout. Alright, now let's discuss the palette more on a whole. Number one, the packaging, although it is not my fave, I kind of addressed it in the beginning of this. Like I said, I'm not really preppy, Riviera sailing type person aesthetic. It's not in my budget and it's not in my vibe, but it does go very well with the theme of the palette, except for the kind of problem. I think the biggest problem that most people had with this was that they had this whole like, you know, white and navy sailing theme, and they gave us a white right here, but they didn't give us a deep navy, which I think would have been great if they had taken Seaside or Mediterranean out, or you know, use one of those and made one of those that deep navy color. It would have added even more depth and dimension and the ability to get a lot more different and unique looks out of this palette. Now that being said, you still have some very showstopper shades. Bahamas here, gorgeous. Phenomenal. Cane, I don't know, the purple, also phenomenal. The Estate, Cabana, and Coastline are very nice. They're very similar to things we've seen in Soft Glam and in the Modern Renaissance. The Norvina palette, etc., kind of same with Palm, which could probably be duped in a bunch of other of their palettes. I could have done without the straight up white shade. I would have preferred it if it had been a shimmery white, a good inner corner, or just an all over the lid shade. I think that would have been a bit more versatile. The Inheritance shade right here, one of the most beautiful golds I have ever used in my life. It is stunning. I love the shimmers, the color payoff, except for the fact that they do, like I said, had that fallout to them. If they had been like the formula of the two shimmers in the Modern Renaissance palette, I would have given this palette a like 11 out of 11, just because that formula is one of my end-all be-all shimmer formulas, and these colors are really beautiful. All in all, the palette is Anastasia Beverly Hills quality. It's like we have seen in the Norvina, in the Modern Renaissance, in the Soft Glam, all of that, going back on all of those, so you don't have to worry about the quality. It is a bright palette, but it isn't, I would say, the best bright palette. I feel like a lot of people are drawn to this because it's like the first bright palette, quote unquote, the closest thing to a rainbow palette that Anastasia has released. But if you already own the Violet Voss Flamingo palette going on here, if you already own the Colored Rain Vivid Pigments palette right here, or if you already own and enjoy the James Charles and Morphe palette right here, there really isn't a need for this little guy. But that is obviously according to what you already own, have in your collection, and what your interests are. I think the palette has beautiful, great quality. I absolutely love how Anastasia mattes blend. They're pigmented, they're beautiful, they're seamless. They're one of the easiest shadows I have ever worked with to just really get that soft, seamless, and effortless blend on your lid. And I do think it's a nice kind of jump into spring and summer, as well as being something that's a bit out of what I would consider Anastasia's comfort zone. But for someone who has a lot of makeup, has a lot of bright colors, this may not be something for you. I was interested in it because one thing that I enjoy about having different palettes, even if they're in the same color scheme, I enjoy a lot of different formulas. So I like having the same colors in different formulas. No, it's not the most fantastic, out of this world color story. It's fun for Anastasia. If you like their formula and you've been wanting to dip your toes into some color, I would highly recommend this. The pink and the purple, and well, most of these, the brighter vivid ones, they are pretty much like a pigment. They don't disappear when you blend them like this one. But you are going to get a lot of payoff by packing them on. But they are still heckin' hideously pigmented, and I feel like I am going to be reaching for this palette a lot, even if not in for itself, for some of these beautiful standout shades that I know I can count on the quality and them looking good with other shadows that I use. So yeah, she gorgeous, and I'm honestly really happy that it's not another neutral palette. They could have, with this packaging, they could have gone for kind of a taupey, nudie, neutral, whatever going on with this, but they didn't. They didn't play it safe. They did some colors, and I think that's gonna work really well for them in the future. Obviously, let me know what you guys think about this palette down below. If you have it, I had a lot of you guys in my Will I Buy It say that you were planning on getting it. Some people were saying, it's not my thing. ABH has been a little underwhelming lately. So I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. If you agree with me, if you don't, you guys know how it goes. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real.